Episode 14 of Shaman King 2021 gave us the introduction, the conflict, as well as the addition of a new member for our Shaman team. And that is, of course, Lyserg DIethel, aka the green-haired boy detective from London, Lyserg. Before I break down this episode, please make sure you subscribe to the Shaman Tribe. We just want to hit 1,000 subs. And also, check out our review series on the Legacy 2001 anime, a 4-part megalith of a review series. It took a lot of work. Please, I hope you enjoyed that. Let's talk about this episode. It was a great episode. It was a fantastic episode in the way it was structured and the way it furthered so many story beats, as well as so a lot of new questions in. It starts off not as a cold open, but more so at the tail end of the previous episode, which had Hao incinerate Lily Rara. And we had Yo suddenly get the goosebumps saying, wait, did you guys feel that? It felt as if Lily Rara was calling out my name and the others dismiss him. What does that do? What that does actually is build Yo up or elevate him in terms of his spiritual sense is a little bit more advanced compared to everyone else's. On top of that, and more importantly, it builds up Hao as this connective tissue on so many different levels for this story, as we find out later, knowing that he's connected to Lyserg as well as connected to the Asakura family, which we had an idea from episode 1. But now we have a very direct addressal that, okay, Hao is extremely connected to the Asakura family. With the episode starting off with them talking about Hao and also making it clear that Yo is still thinking about him. He's still thinking about Hao. It really does make it seem like a very long running series, and the previous episodes before that, because they had cold opens, they felt quite disjointed. This felt very connected, and hopefully this carries on because the quality of the story, the quality of the delivery was up there. After the intro, they talk about how they're trying to locate Patch Village and they have a map from Lily Rara, and again it shows and it addresses what happened in the previous episode, although it may have been extremely rushed, by saying that okay, this is the map we got from her and they're trying to navigate it. It again allows us to remember her and remember that they spent a night, they spent some time in her house learning about Patch Village. Horohoro says, when did they make you the leader? To which Ren says to Horohoro, I decided to make Yo our leader. And the way they explained it was quite funny in terms of, you know what, Ren, because he's so serious, his comedy is very similar to Anna, where it's quite dry humor-esque, but at the same time, he's very expressive. This little boy who's always shouting out loud. Him and Anna deliver the same level of comedy, but it's different enough to be quite distinct. Ren says he doesn't want to stand out, and Horohoro's like, what are you talking about? You gallop into the city on a horse, you idiot. You can't stand out any less even if you tried to. But choosing Yo as the leader again highlights how he's operating at a higher level from a spiritual and a combat point of view, as we see later on in the episode. When we meet Lyserg, it was quite different. When you compare to the 2001 anime, who is quite meek, who's quite shy, this one was anything but. He isn't shy, he isn't lacking in any confidence. He's quite brash, if anything. And that does two things for his character. Firstly, it starts him off as quite unlikable, which allows the redemption to be more strong. Secondly, it shows that he's smart, and he is smart. He is the son of the world's best detective. Well, now he's the best detective supposedly since his dad is dead. But we also get to see all of his resources. He says it quite bluntly. Look, I'm rich, I'm smart, I'm good at what I do. And it's nice. It's a breath of fresh air. Let's quickly address something in regards to Ryu and his comments about Lyserg. Obviously, they were meant to be gags, but I don't think they're gonna fly, nor is it as effective in this climate. This isn't the early noughties as the original anime where those kind of jokes were rife in a lot of media. I don't think they need that. You got the dry comedy, the dry humor from Anna and Ren, the wholesome humor from Yo, and the very goofy comedy from Horohoro and Ryu. So they're not lacking in comedic flair, and it's only going to be added when we meet certain characters later on. But I just want to talk about that and how they don't really need it. Regarding Lyserg and how he came across, he challenged them. He said, look, I want allies. He was quite forceful. Again, this emphasized how wrong, how opposite he is to this current group. And also, I just didn't like that. But when he fought off against Horohoro and Ren, let's make another thing quite clear. This wasn't a aesthetic masterpiece. It wasn't something to write home about for animation or art, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. There were certain shots there was a lot of shots that were very pleasing to the eye. However, don't expect this to be an animation masterpiece. But the fight between Lyserg and Horohoro was quite good in terms of how, although from a outside perspective you might be like, oh, how is he beating Horohoro and Ren at the same time? One thing this episode done really well is that they address all of these points so there's no real confusion. They made it very clear that, look, I'm weaker, I have less Furyoku. However, you can be as strong as you want, but it means nothing without strategy, and that's exactly what Lyserg had. He caught them off guard, and that's the only reason why he defeated both Ren and Horohoro at the same time. What was even better was seeing the different face, the different side of Yo where he's getting serious. He's really thinking, no, you hurt my friends. I'm gonna literally show you no mercy. And then he goes about and destroys Lyserg's dowsing pendulum. To which Lyserg then says, look, let me show you my proper unleashed self. And he gives us one little tidbit, how effective or how important this comment is. You decide later on. He talks about how his pendulum, his new one, his father's one, is made out of crystal. And we know that crystal is the best conductor of spiritual energy. Therefore, it is the best material for this battle, for this instrument. Yo goes ahead and defeats Lyserg with ease, but that's because Lyserg's oversoul faltered because he saw something which shocked him. He saw the face of Hao, very similar to the face that Yo made when he was just about to strike him down. And again, this tells us subliminally or just overtly, there's a connection here. There's a connection between Hao and Yo. There's a connection between Hao and everyone else. He's a much wider, much more vaster connective tissue to this story than is initially been told to us. And by the end, we learn more, and I'll talk about that shortly. But Lyserg then confused. He doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know why or how he lost. He thinks to himself, shit, he's not strong enough. Something that has to be mentioned is how Ren wasn't unconscious by the attack. He was still conscious and Horohoro was completely out cold. What does that say? Are they trying to make an overt effort to let us know the power levels? Because later on, Lyserg says in the cafe or wherever they are, hey, how come Hao didn't approach Ren? Because they're basically the same Furyoku between Ren and Yo. So why wasn't Ren approached? There must be something else between Yo and Hao. To which Ren's like, yeah, you're right actually. And this was foreshadowed earlier because Ren got up. It shows us that, okay, he's stronger than Horohoro. Ren isn't, he just got caught off guard. That's just about it. It's not that he was weak. It's not he's on the same level as Horohoro. He is higher in combat ability. So I like how the show is making a concerted effort to differentiate the power levels and just the power differences between all the characters, and also foreshadow and again sow the seeds for later story points. Yo eventually allows Lyserg to join, but when they were all talking and having their dinner or lunch, whatever it is, Yo was still alone. He's still thinking about how, he's still thinking about, oh crap, so Hao also was connected to Lysergs because he killed his parents. Shit, I need to stop him. And you see the resolve of Yo saying he has to stop him because he can't forgive what he did. But then we see him saying, but not everyone can be bad completely, can they? Everyone must have a reason, surely. Even though it might be messed up, he wants to know what is Hao's reason for what he does. Although he thinks he knows to make a shaman-only kingdom, but he wants to know more. And that's exactly what I want to see from my main character. They are making our characters deeper and deeper from a personality point of view, as well as their involvement into the story. I can't wait. At the end of everything, we see Mikihisa, a fella in a little bird mask spying on Yo, who then reports back to Yome, Yo's granddad, who then tells Anna, follow me. And he shows her the shrine, the forbidden shrine that is the shrine of Asakura Hao, who is apparently 1,000 years old, which we're going to find out later on. I love it. This was a great episode, a great episode from a exposition point of view, as well as meeting new characters. It widened our world. Guys, I like this episode. What did you guys think? Comment down below, and please check out the other videos and subscribe to the Shaman Tribe.